I just feel like just do what's best for your hair. Hey y'all, it's Jess and I'm back with another video. So today I'll be deep conditioning my hair and talk about some natural hair myths that I've seen over the course of a few years and a few months. I haven't been natural but only like a year, but before I started my natural hair journey with the transitioning into natural hair, like I have been watching videos for the longest, and everybody says different things of what not to use and what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. And you know, I've seen a couple videos over the past few months of people talking about it because I have seen like a decline in the natural hair community on YouTube since I started watching it like 3 years ago. Well, specifically in that niche, like natural hair, like I started watching that 3 years ago. But anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna deep condition and do my hair while I talk about this. I wanted to do a video on this because I'm really discovering like a lot of things that people say like really don't apply to me or other people, and I kind of rambled a bit. But today I'll be using this deep conditioner. It does have a fragrance in the ingredients. It's lavender, but it smells so good. You can get it from Walmart or you can get it off of Amazon. I bought this with my own money. I use this and I love this. I'm not trying to like sell y'all on it, but if I'm letting y'all know, like it does work really good. So like honestly, it's really moisturizing, and it's a 16-ounce bottle or container. So, and this is how much I've used. You can see my hair in it. We can go ahead and get into some of the topics while I start to do my hair. So the first thing that I wrote down on a list of like what I've noticed a lot of natural hair influencers say, water bottle. My hair is dry. Sorry, this whole video I was bouncing between topics. But yeah, so first thing is like natural hair girls can't use heat. Like I've seen that, like it's as soon as you use heat, like it damages your hair. And you know, I don't feel like that's necessarily true. Like everybody's hair is different. I feel like no, of course don't use it excessively because that is damaging to your hair. But I really do feel like you can use heat. Like I use heat. Sometimes I blow dry my hair. And you know, like, but what I don't do is I don't use direct heat all the time. Like that's just one thing I don't do, because if you use direct heat, yes, over time, like it will damage it. But to not use it at all, like I feel like that's the perfect way for me to actually trim my hair. Or what if I want to have like a little silk press going on? I feel like that should be allowed. Why are people telling me that I shouldn't use heat on my natural hair and it's unhealthy for it? So that's just how I feel. And do what works best for your hair. After all these points that I'm gonna make, just do what's best for your hair. If your hair can't take heat, maybe you shouldn't use it. But if your hair can, go for it. So another thing, like natural hair influencers like to tell people like there's like a set day, you know, or a set time that you should actually trim your hair. Some people say like you should trim your hair every 2 to 3 months. If your hair doesn't need to be trimmed at that point in time, like I feel like for me personally, you should trim as needed and based on what your hair is. I don't feel like there should be a set time frame or range of when you should trim your hair, because after 2 to 3 months, like my ends look pretty good from the last trim. So I don't feel like personally for me, you know, that should be said. I trimmed my hair back in March and it really like is pretty good now. Like I'm going to like in a couple months, probably like, what is it, September? I'm probably going to in November actually go through my hair and blow dry it and trim it and see if it needs to be a trim. But that's only like what, twice a year that I'm trying to check for if I need a trim or not. If you're keeping your hair moisturized and keeping your hair healthy, there's really no need to do excessive trimming unless you're constantly damaging your hair. Another point that I realized is, you know, they said, oh, you shouldn't go months without washing your hair. The dirty hair myth isn't true. And I feel like, honestly, sometimes just look at your hair, pay attention to your hair. Like, I don't necessarily wash my hair, you know, every week. You know, I wash it like every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm washing my hair, and some people say you should wash your hair every week and co-wash in between, or wash your hair every 5 days. Like, I don't have time to be washing like my hair every week, you know, unless, you know, it's a style that didn't last, and, you know, I'm willing to go ahead and wash my hair. But even then, like, I'm not using a shampoo if I wash my hair the next week. I'm co-washing my hair. I just feel like I've already washed my hair. My hair doesn't need to be thoroughly cleansed like that at that point. That's just my opinion. So, but I guess that's their opinion. You know, you should wash your hair every week. And I just feel like there's two parts to that. I'm not going to wash it every week, and if I do, I'm going in with a good wash. I've seen, you know, people say who are natural hair influencers, like, oh, no oils, no butters, they're not needed for your hair. And I'm just kind of like, are they meaning like don't add any extra butters or oils to your hair? Because the products, if you read the ingredients, like a lot of products like have oils and butters, and especially creams that are meant to moisturize your hair. It isn't a moisturizer, but there are, you know, lighter oils like coconut oil and tea tree oils that really penetrate the strand. So I really don't know what moisture is. You know, hydration comes from water and moisture comes from, you know, product usage. I don't know, I may be wrong, but what's supposed to moisturize your hair? Like, what's supposed to moisturize your hair? For example, this has cocoa butter and shea butter, and this is the styler I'm going to use to do my styling after I did condition my hair. So am I not supposed to use that? Is it not good for my hair? Because honestly, it works well for my hair. It moisturizes my hair. So I just, like I said, do what works best for your hair. You don't have to listen to everybody and tell you what you shouldn't and shouldn't do. And all of these points are what I do to my own hair that works best for me, that necessarily isn't popular, or I've heard people say you shouldn't do. I like to do protective styling. Like, I haven't really done it this year. I did it like a lot like the past 2 years because I was transitioning, and I finally cut off my ends last November. But I like to protective style. Like, some people I've heard, you know, who are natural hair influencers say to not protective style. I guess because it's not healthy. But honestly, like, for me, it works. Especially a good braid, you know, not washing my hair, not having to deal with my hair for 2 months, and you know, that's good for me. You know, that's 2 months of rest for my hair, 2 months of not manipulating my hair, 2 months that my hair can just be free and grow on its own without me bothering it and styling it. But I feel like I get where they're coming from, because it's kind of like, if you're completely neglecting your hair during that process, is it really a protective style? I get it. But I don't feel like you should just not do it at all. Like, my go-to protective style are knotless braids, and I do my own passion twist. So just another point, by the way, like, I don't feel like you need a lot of hair products. Like, I don't feel like that's needed. You just need to find you a good staple shampoo or two. Why do we need like so many products? Like, the most products that I have out of my stash that really take up most of it are gels for stylings, because I get different definition with different gels, and conditioners. But I don't really have a lot of products, like, and I don't expect to buy everything when you know what works best for your hair. You don't really have to buy a lot, you know, and your hair, you know, has a routine of what it is used to using, so you don't need all of that, you know. Also, what I've seen, you know, like, most natural hair influencers that I do see that is kind of like toxic is, you know, you don't really see a lot of representation for type 4 hair, especially the type 4 hair, because I have type 4 hair. You know, it's not that, but I mean the type 4 hair that's not as thick as mine. Like, I have really dense, thick hair. Like, I've seen, you know, I don't see many natural hair influencers that, you know, I don't mean to like call them out or anything like that. They just don't have as dense hair. They don't have as dense or thick hair, and I feel like it's kind of shaming or not bringing out those type of natural hair girls that, you know, have that type of hair. I don't see that represented enough, because how are they gonna know what works best for their hair? That's just my opinion. And then one thing that I also do, that meaning what the community thinks is toxic. I feel like it's kind of toxic, and people say it's not healthy, and a lot of people have heard that's not healthy. For my last point is, you can't do a wash and go. Like, you shouldn't do them at all. And I feel like everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. I don't feel like it's horrible, but I get where they're coming from with this point, because doing a lot of wash and goes, you do get a lot of single strand knots, especially for type 4 hair. And just doing that just really, you know, it widens your chances for breakage. Single strand knots, easily to break. So I get it, but I feel like the point in saying that you shouldn't do them at all is just taking it a bit too far, in my opinion. Because I like wash and goes, you know, you really get to see your defined hair, but outs, spread outs, styles that are low manipulation styles that you can kind of wear for a few days and then take them out are your go-to styles, just because they don't cause single strand knots as often as a wash and go. Oh y'all, this deep conditioner is defining my curls. You know, there's so much things that, you know, are listed that you can't do, and you know that, you know, they're discovering that works different for their hair. And honestly, I feel like people are just trying to figure out what works best for you, and I don't feel like you should necessarily, you know, copy somebody verbatim of what they do with their routine. I feel like you should take little bits from it and learn from what works best for you and continue with that. Other than that, I feel like we should just do our own little thing and not get so caught up on what we should and shouldn't do. Also, another point that I want to make is when you're using your detangling brush, like some people like say, I just saw this recently actually, that you shouldn't brush your hair or detangle your hair sideways. You should do it this way. Hold on, let me show you. I saw on Instagram, the Instagram reel, you shouldn't detangle your hair sideways. You should do it vertically. And I'm like, what's the difference? You know, that just kind of doesn't make sense to me, but okay. I feel like I do both ways depending on what is the best way to tangle that part of my hair and the angle. I feel like it shouldn't matter how I detangle my hair. Just don't get it. But yeah, that's officially my last point on what's the myth and what I feel like is kind of toxic on what somebody should tell somebody. But whatever, I just feel like just do what's best for your hair. You know, I feel like we shouldn't be judging anybody, and because of the judgment is why the natural hair community is not trending right now. So, but it doesn't matter, you know, trends always come back, and I feel like those who really want to show their natural hair just because they enjoy showing it and doing it will continue to do so. But that's all I have. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Like if you like this video, and subscribe to see more videos like this, and comment down below what you think and what your takeaway is from this video, or you can share it too. Do all of the above. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.